You already know what it is, family. Great Man of God Media TV back with another one. Listen, man, Terence Crawford seemingly now is no longer fighting Errol Spence anymore. That fight is legitimately off the table, So now Terence Crawford continues to campaign for the Canelo Alvarez fight. You know what I'm saying? So with his latest tweet that he talks about, him fighting Canelo Alvarez is the biggest fight in boxing, period. As you can see here, Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is the biggest fight in boxing right now. Like it or not, it's just facts, right? Here's the thing about this fight. I've always said, yeah, this is an intriguing fight. This is an intriguing fight that I would love to watch. You know what I'm saying? You got a welterweight, 147, moving up 3 weight classes to go to 168 pounds and challenge Canelo Alvarez, right? Intriguing fight. Here's the battery where the battery in the back came from, right? Because with Terence Crawford, right, this talk of Canelo Alvarez didn't exist prior to him fighting Errol Spence. Prior to him fighting Errol Spence, the name Canelo Alvarez was like, yo, I would never fight Canelo Alvarez. You go back into his Fight Hype interview that he did back in 2022, I believe, right? He was asked, would he fight Canelo Alvarez? And he said, I would never fight Canelo Alvarez, right? I would never go up and wait and fight Canelo Alvarez. Ever since he fought Errol Spence and beat and dominated Errol Spence, everybody in the world, including his, Bud supporters, thinks that he can challenge and beat Canelo Alvarez. When prior to that, it didn't exist. This whole notion of you beating Canelo Alvarez didn't exist prior to you fighting Errol Spence. It didn't exist. So now all of a sudden, because you beat Errol Spence, a pound for pound ranked welterweight champion, now you can take on the world, right? You can beat Canelo Alvarez, Bivol, Better Beef, possibly Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? Like you can take all challengers, right? Do you want to mix this up with just being a payday fight? Because when you fight Canelo Alvarez, that is not only the biggest fight, just like you say, is the biggest fight of your career, but the biggest payday of your career, right? When you have opportunities to fight, you can make legacy fights with Boots Ennis, who has your belt, the IBF strap, right? You can get some get back and still become a multi-time unified champion, or excuse me, undisputed champion, right? At 147 by fighting Boots Ennis. You chose not to. You don't want to fight Boots Ennis. You rather go up and wait 3 weight classes and fight Canelo Alvarez. You got so many fights in between welterweight before you get to 168 pounds. You know what I'm saying? You got Tim Tszyu at 154. You got Jermell Charlo still. Go to 168, fight Janibek. Janibek is the king at 160. So you got a lot of opportunities. You got, Teofimo Lopez at 140. And he can go up and wait in 1 weight class to fight you. So it's a lot of opportunities out there for you to make history prior to fighting Canelo Alvarez. But you choose to fight Canelo Alvarez and call this man out. You know what I'm saying? And, with Canelo, from Canelo's perspective, it's a lose-lose for him. Because Canelo's going to make his money regardless. He has a guaranteed contract where he is allocated a certain amount of money per fight, which is guaranteed, right? So at the end of the day, Canelo's going to make his money regardless. He's going to make his money, right? So with Bud, man, you saying that Canelo and yourself is the biggest fight in boxing, you may be right. You may be right. Benavidez versus Canelo has been brewing for years prior to you even thinking about fighting Canelo. Has been brewing for years. David Benavidez deserves his shot at Canelo before anybody else because he's been ranked and he has been his mandatory for at least 2 years. And many people want to see him fight Canelo Alvarez. That could possibly be the biggest fight in boxing too. So, you know, David Benavidez has a case where, yeah, him fighting Canelo is the biggest fight in boxing as well. You know, it's a really big fight, and it's been long overdue because it's been brewing for years between him, Benavidez, and Canelo Alvarez. Brewing for years. So at the end of the day, man, you know, fighting Canelo, one thing's for certain, two things for sure. When you fight Canelo, you're going to get your biggest payday. And number two, you're going to have a lot of notoriety, okay, for fighting Canelo, right? So that's the reason why Bud Crawford wants to fight Canelo, because he's get his biggest payday of his career, and he'll have more notoriety than ever before. And like I said, with Canelo, it's a lose-lose for him because you're fighting a welterweight, another guy from a lower weight class, because he already fought Jermell Charlo, who was a 154-pounder. Now you're fighting a 147-pounder. So you beat him, they're gonna say he's too small, right? There's already built-in excuses for you as well, Terence Crawford, because you lose to Canelo. You were daring to be great. You were daring to be great, but that wasn't your weight class. You know what I'm saying? You can make history anyway. So win, lose, or draw, you have the built-in excuse is in your favor because you're the smaller fighter challenging the bigger guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, those are my thoughts on that, family. Leave your comments down below. Like, you know, like I said, I just think that Terence and Canelo could possibly be the biggest fight in boxing, but you know, David Benavidez and Canelo has a case as well. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, family. Until next time, signing out.